Hey, welcome back to the Rock Fantasy Files. We set the time machine to 1995. Where did those 30 years go? Is my question, everybody. I've asked my panelists tonight to name their top albums from that year. I guess we're going to do like 5 albums, some honorable mentions. And of course, since this was James' idea the other night, I said, nah, I could be here on Wednesday still. I could be here.
Actually,
And
this was
I
Count
like
Ralphus
What's
and Obie's
it's
idea.
not Ralphus's idea. Okay, I thought it was yours because I saw you posting it. But anyhow, cool. I like doing the years. A lot of good albums from this year. It's kind of tough. But here's a few things from this year, as I usually do. In the NFL, the 49ers defeated the Chargers 49-26, the most points ever earned in a Super Bowl game, becoming the first team to win 5 Super Bowl champions at Joe Robbie Stadium in Miami, Florida. In the NHL,
DVR.
the New Jersey Devils swept the Detroit Red Wings to capture their first Stanley Cup. And I was ecstatic because my dad and I used to go to all the games, and they became when they were shitty, and we were there for. I wasn't at those games, but I was at some of the playoff games, and big Devils fan, have been for years. 1995 World Series, MLB, best of 7 playoff, of course, between the National League champion Braves and American League champion Cleveland Indians.
Oh, boom.
The Braves won in 6 games to capture their third World Series championship in franchise history.
Oh, boom.
The Houston Rockets swept the Orlando Magic to win the NBA championship finals. The Daytona 500 was won by Sterling Marlin. The 79th Indy 500 was won by, I was hoping Danny was going to be here because this is his cousin, Jacques Villeneuve, won the Indy 500 and then went on after that year to go on to race in Formula One for Williams in 1996. So a lot of people didn't know that Denny is a very interesting guy and a great friend and a great guy for the channel, but he has some connections and being involved with IndyCar and Formula One with his cousins, and it's pretty cool. I want you guys to guess the top film from 1995. Anybody know? It's a cool one.
Dead presidents.
What's that?
Dead presidents.
No, that wasn't in the top 10 according to my list, but it involves a superhero.
95?
9 to 5 would not have a superhero in it.
Spider-Man?
It's Batman Forever.
Ew. That was terrible.
I like that movie. I had a pinball.
Ugh.
Apollo 13 was number 2. Toy Story was 3. Pocahontas was 4. Ace Ventura, or When Nature Calls, was 5.
That was a good one.
Casper,
Lace us up, man.
Casper, Die Hard with a Vengeance, Golden Eye, James Bond, of course, Crimson Tide, Waterworld, the number 1 hit single, which I was joking that James may have had picking that for the album of the year was Coolio with Gangster's Paradise.
Oh, shit.
So we're here to talk about our top 5 records of the year. Why don't we go around and do the top 5 with each one, and we'll go around for the last round for honorable mentions. 1995 was a strange year for me. I was in Florida watching my mother-in-law's house and became kind of ill down there, and it was a really tough year for me. I didn't work in my store for many months, wasn't sure what was wrong with me, and found out it was something rather simple I worked through. But it was an interesting year, and there's a couple of the albums I talk about in my list when I go back to albums I listened to a lot then. And then there's a lot I discovered since then, but there were 2 albums that I listened to constantly in that year that I'll mention when I'm up. So anyhow, welcome to the show tonight. We got Tony Dio from the South. We got our resident vampire Count Ralphus here in the North, and we've got our resident Viking who was up all night drinking mead and whatever else he does over there in Norway. We got James Delisle from Disc and Dat Records. We got Ed Farsley from Armageddon Productions. James, I actually was going through used records the other day and I found a Tony Braxton vinyl with a Disc and Dat sticker on it.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, I was wondering if it was yours.
Nice.
I sold it in a dollar bin, but it had a Disc and Dat sticker on it. So
That's awesome.
how long is
Break
Disc
my
and
heart
Dat?
on.
Is Disc and Dat a chain or is it just a single store?
No, there's one store. So we started in 1987
Okay. So
and it
like
was only
around my age
CDs.
then. Hmm.
And then the guys moved they started in Stamford in 87, moved to Bethel in 2001.
Oh.
And I've been working for them since 2015.
Sometime when I'm taking a ride up to Milford, Connecticut, I'm going to have to stop by and see you.
Please
That's
do.
pretty cool. They were a disc
How
store
far
in
are you from how
'87.
far? Well, how far are
Yeah.
you from like Danbury?
I'm literally right next door to Danbury.
I know. So I go right past there when I go up to pick up
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
pinball.
we're literally right next door to Danbury.
Yeah, I'll try to keep that in mind next time. So anyhow, there's a lot of interesting releases this year, and it's very tough for me to pick five out of them. There's a lot of albums that I'm real passionate about from that year.
Oh yeah.
There's a few that I probably didn't even jot down that I was trying to get. I was really busy this week with a bunch of stuff. But how about we let Mr. Ed Farsley kick things off? Ed, are you ready? Ed's not being seen, so maybe we'll go with someone else because it doesn't look like he's in the screen. Let's kick it off with James.
Oh, cool. All right. So
To sign
I
up,
feel
come back.
very much like Steven about this, where it was hard to nail down a top five. Um, this was a cool year for me, not personally. 1995 was a rough year for me personally, but musically, this was a fucking fantastic year. I was 15 in 85, so I'm very passionate about all the releases I'm going to be talking about. Number five for me is going to be Fight a Small Deadly Space.
Okay.
I really love this album, and I very much enjoyed pulling it out of the archive and getting back into it. I loved War Words when that was brand new, but this one really, really stuck with me. I love every second of music on this. I know a lot of people are like, it's Halford trying to do his Pantera impression, but
I
I
found
really,
that one to be more grungy than the first one was Pantera like. That's more grungy and Alice in Chains like. If you,
there's definitely some Alice in Chains in here, but I find this one to be very Pantera y too, even kind of downish. And Down wasn't really like official
man,
yet,
yeah.
you
It
know.
wasn't kicked off yet. So
But yeah,
they were writing it.
there's not a bad second of music on this. The opener, I Am Alive, is very good. Legacy of Hate is one of my top favorite tracks on this. Great song about growing up with an abusive father. That's one that really hit home with me. Blowout in the Radio Room is probably my top favorite track on this. Great
Good song.
groove and grindy, dark
Yeah,
song.
yeah.
Um, the title track on this is Killer 2. Small Deadly Space has this really cool, like, never-ending riff to it. It's just like it stops and starts over and over again, and just really great guitar shit going on in the title track on this. And I really love the last song. Well, the last official track on this is called In a World of My Own Making. And it's a really cool, atmospheric, almost sort of kind of Pink Floydy vibe going on in it. There's piano and clean guitars, and then it gets heavy in the chorus. Great song, great album. And I loved revisiting this for the past week, busting this out of the archives. This is a fantastic album, and I definitely recommend this. If you like dark, grungy Pantera vibes and Rob Halford's voice, get this one and add it to your collection because it's a fantastic record.
I saw them on that tour, James.
Oh, you saw them?
Yeah.
Who
In
opened
the club.
for them?
In the club. They were in a club, and it was a band called Monster Voodoo Machine. Was the from
I remember
Canada?
them.
Yeah.
I remember them. They were on a lot of the Concrete Corner samplers back then.
Oh yeah, remember Concrete Corner? Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. So my number 4 is going to be Mad Season Above.
Nice.
I fucking love this album. Really a great one-off grunge sort of super group. I guess it is a super group. It's Alice in Chains vocalist Lane Staley with Pearl Jam guitarist Mike McCready, and you got the bass player, or no, the drummer from the Screaming Trees. This is a fantastic emotional album, very bluesy. The one hit single off this was River of Deceit, and I actually find that to be the weakest track on the album. Not that it's a bad song, I just kind of find it to be the weakest track on the record. It's cool, but it's played out. The beginning of this with Wake Up and X-Ray Mind, so good. Artificial Red is a fantastic blues jam on this. Great tune. Mike McCready really shows off his Jimi Hendrix influence on this, and I very much appreciate it. And I Don't Know Anything is another fantastic tune off this. This is just an underrated, under talked about grunge album
I
that
sell,
I
I
was
sell,
that.
I sell that album pretty steadily at Rock Fantasy.
Me too. Yeah, I
I
sell
get
this
it
on
in, and
CD a
it's there a
lot.
week or two, and I sell it. And
Yeah,
sometimes I
yes,
slip it in the Alice in Chains section, and it goes right out of there too.
that's what I do too. I'll
Yeah.
order 2 of them. I'll put one in the Alice in Chains and one in the Pearl Jam section, and they
No,
always go. Yeah, killer album here. Again, if you like
Lane
Alice in
Staley's,
Chains,
Lane Staley's girlfriend that painted the artwork.
yeah, that's actually Lane Staley and his girlfriend licking each other's tongues.
Mhm.
You can look the original picture of that up. It's very cool. It's a cool pic of the 2 of them.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's great artwork. I always wanted to get that tattooed on me somewhere.
you can still get it done, maybe.
I definitely will. So that's 5 for him on 3. Number 3 for me is going to be Slash's Snake Pit. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. This one, man, when this came out, I'm a huge Guns N' Roses fan. They're the band that made me want to play music. First band I ever really got massively obsessed with. So I was waiting for this to come out and got it the day it came out. And I love every single nanosecond of music on this. This was another one that I hadn't listened to it in a little bit. So busting it out made me love it again. I just kind of fell in love with it again this past week. Really good lineup here too. You got Slash on lead guitar. You got Mike Inez from Alice in Chains on bass. You got Matt Sorum on drums, and you got Gilby Clarke on rhythm guitar. And the singer here is Eric Dover, who was the singer for the Jellyfish. And he's got a great voice. I like this dude's voice a lot. I wish he came back for the second record. I always kind of felt like the second Snake Pit record was a little disappointing compared to this one. Not nearly as bluesy. Their Slash was trying to kind of go for a rap element in some songs on it, and I just kind of, threw the second album by the wayside. But boy, this one is absolutely awesome. Really good bluesy southern rock vibes through the entire thing. Big Skinnerd influences here and there. Lots of slide guitar going on. This is absolutely a killer, underrated album. The opening track on this is fantastic. Neither Can I love that one. Beggars and Hangers On was the big hit off this. That was the big single, and that's a cool tune, but I don't think it's the best one. Good to Be Alive is a fantastic song. What Do You Want to Be? I really love Jizz the Pit on this. Is an instrumental tune. It's got a big kind of shuffle bluesy vibe going on in it. then at the end of it, it gets kind of Black Sabbathy and dark. I really love that. Lower is another great one off this too that talks about suicide throughout the lyrics that I really appreciate. And the last tune on here I like a lot, Back and Forth Again. It's a good hard rock tune. This is a fantastic album. If you don't have this, if you like GNR, if you like everything Slash has done with Miles Kennedy, which I very much do, I love all the Slash and Miles Kennedy records. You got to get this one in your collection. Interesting little factoid about this album, when it came out, Slash toured with his backing band was the rhythm section for Pride and Glory, James Lomenzo and Brian Tishy. And this album did so well, it went platinum almost immediately, that the record label kind of had a freak out moment and they pulled all the tour support from Slash's Snake Pit and said, Slash, you got to get back in the studio with Guns N' Roses and make a new record. And that was kind of the undoing of Guns N' Roses right there. Slash was really pissed that the tour support got pulled and really kind of wanted to be away from Axl at that point, not worry about GNR, kind of wanted to do his own thing. So this album was sort of the undoing of Guns N' Roses as we knew them back in the mid 90s. So there you go.
Wow. Interesting.
Number 2 is going to be my favorite Ozzy album with Zakk Wylde on guitar, Osmosis.
Wow. That's your favorite one?
This is my favorite album with Zakk on guitar because I love Zakk's guitar tone on this so much. His guitar tone on this is so gnarly and so heavy and very heavy with the chorus pedal on it, which I love. It's what you would call a very wet sound. I know it sounds dirty and that's cool, but it's pretty much just a lot of chorus pedal and a lot of wad, a lot of really heavy, dirty distortion on Zakk's guitar on this album. There's really not much about this I don't like. As corny as the lyrics are for Perry Mason, it's a fantastic song. It's really a great heavy tune. The lyrics are a little meh, but I'll live with it. It's Ozzy singing and Zakk playing. You got Geezer Butler on bass. You got Dean Castronovo on drums. Great lineup. I Just Want You is a fantastic hit off this. I love that tune. Thunder Underground is one of the heaviest Ozzy tunes. Love that song so much. Denial is another great heavy one. And again, with the lyrics being a little goofy, My Jekyll Doesn't Hide is a fantastic heavy song on this. Yeah, and See You on the Other Side. I really like that. That's one of my top favorite Ozzy ballads.
Yeah,
so there you go.
you hear that a lot.
Great song.
You hear that a lot on Boneyard. If you have Boneyard on CNN,
absolutely, yeah, that's on Boneyard a lot.
I feel that album is kind of a overlooked album in the Ozzy catalog. I think
big time.
It was kind of like his popularity is fading a little bit that time. I don't know. It just seems like even my wife, I listened to it this morning when I got up because I'm trying to go through some albums. So let's take a listen to this Ozzy this morning. And even she wasn't that familiar with that record. I said, well, I knew you must have had it back in 95, but who knows, right?
Yeah. I think it was because grunge was so gigantic that, a lot of those older dudes like that were looked at as like dinosaurs. Just like look at the Coverdale Page album. That's a fantastic record.
Was that from 95? No.
It's not 95, but I think it's 93, but still it's like the height.
I sold a bunch of that though. Yeah, I sold a bunch of
Yeah.
And that's some other people that were out in the grunge direction that were off into the death metal and the black metal direction at that time.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt.
Like Ralph cried.
So my number 1 is going to be
surprise.
Surprise, surprise, the Boys from New Orleans, my favorite supergroup of all time. And this is one of my top favorite albums of all time. This album to me is like comfort food. I go back to it all the time. Still today, I put this album on. I know every lyric, I know every riff, I know every goddamn drum beat. There is not 1 second of this that is dull. There's not 1 second of this that stinks. There's not 1 second of this that's even just kind of remotely mediocre. I love every second of Down's debut album. Um, is another one I learned of because of the Concrete Corner samplers. I remember getting a Concrete Corner tape with Lifer on it and bringing home the little newspaper looking magazine thing and seeing Phil and Pepper and Kirk and went, oh my God, I have to get this the day it comes out. And I remember skipping school to go to the local record store and grab this on CD. And I went right home and smoked a whole bunch of leafy green medicinal herbs and played this over and over and over, and I still do. Every time I listen to this, I feel 15 again. It's just such a fantastic album.
It's a band that's back together and doing gigs, but doesn't come around the New York area for some fucking reason.
They really don't. It's very rare.
They did the Danzig Blackest of the Black tour, which my buddy Ben flew out to Vegas to check out, mainly because he wanted to see Down, and of course Abbott was there too, and then they did Milwaukee at Metal Fest. But
they are currently lined out tracks for a new album currently.
Yeah, they haven't ventured out to the East Coast, which I'm kind of surprised. But now Pantera's back on the road, so it's not going to happen.
Right. Pantera will be around though, because like Obie said, they are recording a new record. So I'm not Pantera, Down. Sorry, will be around because they're recording a new record. So they'll be around here.
Cool, man.
Hail the Leaf, one of my top favorites on here.
Yeah.
First song I ever heard that has a bong solo in it. Very cool. Underneath Everything is one of my top favorites on this, as is Eyes of the South. Just disgusting riffs in both of those songs. Stone the Crow was the big hit off this.
Great song.
And great tune, great mix of like Black Sabbath and Leonard Skinner. And not only just that song, but in all of this record. And that's why I love these guys so much. And Bury Me in Smoke is probably my top favorite on this. Great tune about, partaking in the inhaling of leafy green medicinal herbs. And I love that ending where the breakdown is just so disgusting and it fades out. And then all of a sudden it comes back and it pulled me right back in. So good. So good.
Nice.
Yeah, fantastic record. This is my number one. 1995 was a great year for music, but this is the one for me. I'll take this over everything that came out in 95.
All righty. I'm going to hop on over to Count Ralphus and see what his perspective on all this is. You ready, Ralph?
Yep. Fucking 30 years. It does not seem like it. It's like, it's kind of depressing thinking that it's that many years. That many years have gone by, and oh man, but what a great year. It's kind of funny because like none of the ones that James picked were even on my radar, even the Down. And so I was so immersed in death metal, and in black metal was still pretty new at the time, that second wave of black metal, and it was really exciting. And I've said it plenty of times, but once I found Rain and Blood, I kind of just ignored most of the traditional metal and everything, and I just got so immersed in all this extreme music. I made a list of just when I look at the list, I just start writing down everything from the list that I know I have, and I got a full page. It's 57 albums or something like that I bought that year. I probably got some of it later on, even the Down, I think I got in 96, and then a lot of stuff I got later on. But at the time, I did get a lot of this stuff, and I only pulled out my 5 that I'm picking because it's 100 degrees here in New York today, and it was just so brutal. I didn't want to have to put a million things back at the end of the day, but I got them all written down, so I can mention them at honorable mentions. But So I guess I didn't really think of an order. So I'm just kind of
That's
gonna go
fine.
through them. But I got the Storm of the Lights Bane by Dissection.
Oh yeah. Freak, I
Such
overlooked that on my list. I had it jotted
like
down.
yeah, that's it's good to like write everything down and then kind of keep going over the list
I
and like
know I
this
had it
one's got to get in there.
then, but yeah. Great, great.
And it's not like I could listen to 57 albums in the last week to figure out exactly,
I
but
know,
I
right?
kind of knew right away. I put stars next to the ones that I'm pretty sure are my top five. And then you go back and listen to them and go, yeah, these are fucking great. I was listening to this today. I got an original, like old digipack version. Then I got this double CD version where it's got like demos and
Killer,
I
right?
all
got
sorts
that
of
one.
extra stuff. Yeah, this is really awesome. But
Yeah, it is.
love the album cover and stuff. And they were just like, I was listening to a lot of black metal at the time, and there was a ton of that first wave of like black metal, not the first wave, but the
Mm,
first wave of the Bathory kind of
yeah.
copycats. There was so much of that like when you heard this, it was so like fresh and different for black metal. Be considered it black metal at the time, but it had like thrash elements and it's got its clean like sound and production to it, and it almost sounds like a Destruction decided to be a black metal band, like a full-on black metal band to me for some reason. But I just love this band, Destruction, Dissection. I mean,
It's like,
my next one, I'm gonna go with Immortal Battles in the North.
ah,
I got my old original digipack CD, but then I got a few years ago back, I got from Rock Fantasy, I got a reprinted
yeah.
gatefold vinyl, like splattered vinyl. It's always cool with
That's a good album to listen to. Not
yeah,
off there, Al.
what was that?
Put that on, you might drop the degrees, 10 degrees in the house.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. It's like people say they like listening to that stuff when it's cold out and stuff. It's like no, yeah, you play that, you watch that. I mean, you listen to it when it's hot as hell out, because then you
Yeah.
think of like the cold north and stuff. Same thing with like I like watching the Thing movie where they're stuck in like Antarctica. Like I like watching that in the middle of summer when it's hot as hell. I don't want to watch that when it's already freezing outside. But all right. So my next one, I'm gonna go Crazy and Black Force Domain. I got
Nice.
an original CD from back then, and this was years before I met them guys and stuff. And man, this is like this brutal raw version of what they still do today, but back then it was just
Mm.
so raw and brutal, and it had a great sound. Like I don't know if they've ever gone back and remastered this or anything. It could get like a beefier, more modern sound if they did that, but I love the way it sounds. I wouldn't change anything about this album. It is so fucking killer. The drums are just fucking insane. I love this album. Love this band, everything they ever did. But it's great going back to that early stuff by them because man, they were just like going for the throat the whole time. And so yeah, then I gotta go Deicide, Once Upon a Cross, Ed's favorite band. But
That,
I just
that's
love this
favorite
album. I
band.
love all those. No, I'm just kidding. But
That's a
but
great
I
album.
love this band. I love the original lineup, everything that the original lineup did, and this was just. I mean, this is where my head was at back then. There was so many great legendary albums coming out. Like I didn't even like barely notice that grunge. The only reason I knew grunge was even happening was because I'd watched 3 hours of Headbangers Ball for maybe the one
Yeah.
Napalm Death video or something like that. And that's the only way I heard any of this stuff, the Fight stuff and all that stuff. I mean, I remember when Fight came out, I shouldn't really slag on the metal god, but it was like, he did Turbo, fucking like hair metal shit. Then he does Ram It Down. It's like more kind of the same. And then they go to the next trend and they do Painkiller, where they go, okay, we got to be heavy again. And then it's like, then he leaves and he does Fight and he does the Pantera thing. Then he does another Fight album and it's the grunge kind of thing. Then he does the Two album, the industrial thing. And it's just like, man, he was jumping from trend to trend and trend. I mean, I love him and there's so much great stuff he did, but that whole like period of Rob Halford, it wasn't until Halford, the band Halford started playing that I really was like, all right, this is fucking killer. But and then he rejoins Priest and stuff. But yeah, Deicide, Once Upon a Cross, and then my final one is Morbid Angel, Domination. Maybe my number one.
Oh,
I mean,
that's a
this
good
is
one.
fucking classic. I even got an original vinyl back then. I didn't collect much vinyl back then, but
Nice.
somehow I ended up with an original of that. But just unbelievable, so heavy, and had that great video on MTV at the time, and just they were just hard to beat back then. Morbid Angel was definitely those first few albums. They were definitely like the
Oh yeah.
leaders of the scene. I thought and it's cool how like this CD cover is a lot different than the vinyl cover. It's like totally different,
Right.
you know.
Oh yeah.
Ralph, is that when we saw him at the Limelight? That was the tour, correct?
I think so. Yeah, right.
95. It would have been 95. Yeah.
yeah,
90
with grip.
September. Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
I saw. I think I
September.
saw that tour too. Was that like later in the year? Or was that
It was
early?
Well,
September of
it was
95.
I think it was Crisis and Grip Incorporated,
December?
and then Morbid
No,
Angel
September.
headlining at
I think I might have been at that one.
It was September because I went to the KISS
September. I might have
convention
been, yeah.
and
yeah.
over at the Rock and came out of there and somebody said Morbid Angels playing down the street at the Limelight. So we walked down and saw it.
Nice.
Yeah, that's crazy. Tony from North Carolina, he's at the same show as me at the Limelight back in '95.
30 years
Too
ago.
bad
Wow.
That's something, isn't it?
Yeah.
I saw the Janitortures at the Limelight, I think.
yeah, I seen him there too.
Yeah, you were.
But
Yeah, maybe that's what
they
I,
played with yeah, they played with other bands. They didn't play with
that was really
Morbid.
weird. That show was that night. It was real bizarre. All right. So I think I'm gonna go next. I'm gonna move for cheating tonight. I'm gonna have some ties. You guys can boo, you can hiss, you can do whatever you want. I don't really care. Let's see. Number 5. You're really gonna boo some of this, but number 5 is I go back and think of what I was listening to then, and then stuff I've discovered that had to be included. The number 5 album is a tie. It's 2 American-based bands. One is Fear Factory Demanufacture.
Yeah.
I listened to that fucking album. I had my old red rock fantasy van. I wasn't really working. I was getting over some stuff. It was kind of like the mental stuff I was going through. I was out with my dog, just driving around that van, going all over the place. And I was listening to that Fear Factory Demanufacture.
Body Hammer.
Yeah. And freaking Self Bias, Resistor, Zero,
Yeah.
Dog Day Sunrise. Listen,
Yes.
hell out of that record. The other album I'm going to put at a tie with that is a band from California. Most people on this channel probably don't like. I know Ralph probably doesn't dig them, but it's the Deftones. I fucking love that band. But I did not listen to them when this album came out. I discovered them right around when their self-titled album came out. But I went back and I listened to this album still all the time. Adrenaline, Bored, Route M, Engine 9, 7 Words. I just wanted to include it because I still listen to them a lot today and I've seen them a few times. No particular order going forward after this. Another album that I listened to a ton that year, driving around that van and whatever else I was, Death, with the Symbolic record. The title track, fucking Zero Tolerance.
Zero Tolerance. Crystal Mountain.
And this could be number 1 as I look at it. Crystal Mountain, Misanthrope, The Perennial Quest.
Yes.
I listened to that album constantly. I think Crystal Mountain may be my favorite song with the cross-tuned dagger.
Yes.
Then I'm traveling to Portugal for Moonspell with Wolfheart. I fucking love Moonspell. I've loved them for years. They still play when you get to see them on tour. They still play Vampira. Alma Mater is always like one of their closing tracks. Wolf Shade, Love Crimes. There's not a bad song on that album. I could listen to it repeatedly. And at first I was setting up the list and realized that Moonspell album was in there. I had to include it. Number 2, I'm going with At the Gates, Slaughter of the Soul. It kind of started that whole Gothenburg sound.
Oh yeah.
And Dark Tranquility and Flames. A lot of the bands came out of that area. The title track, Suicide Nation, Under a Serpent. It's a great, great album.
They
It's hard
played
for
the
me to do
Chance
that.
that they played the Chance that tour.
What's
They
that?
played the Chance. They played the Chance on that tour. They opened up for Napalm Death.
You
I
know,
hung out with them outside
did you?
afterwards till like 5 in the morning.
I was
Wow.
I probably missed that tour because what was going on with me. I probably missed that, but I love At the Gates. I like the newer stuff too. Like to Drink from the Night Itself. I love that album, but I thought it had to be mentioned, and I'm putting that in a tie with Norway's Immortal, Battles of the North, fucking Grim and Frostbitten Kingdoms. So I'm really cheating tonight. I guess I can cheat. It's my channel. You can boo and hiss, but I'm doing Immortal. Number two, my number one is going to be the same as James. That Down album's a fucking classic, and I listen to it all the time. And I fucking love Stone the Crow, man. You get depressed, and it's a song about depression.
Yes.
Song like, and I want to get. I saw Down only one time. I saw them at Ozfest actually. Ozfest was it maybe 2001, and I remember going with a friend of mine, actually an old friend of mine, and she's like, what band do you want to see? We got to get there in time to see them. And I'm like, we got there, and I only caught like the last few songs, but always loved it. I like all their albums, but I'm gonna go
Yeah.
with Down for my number one. I mean, it could all change. That top five could be shuffled around like anything because I listened to a lot of those records a lot. I really revisited the Fear Factory because I hadn't had that in a heavy rotation lately. I don't know, Fear Factory, they're one of my favorite bands, but now like Burton's not with them. It's like a whole
Yeah, it's all weird now.
but I loved all their shit for many, many years.
Same.
Yeah. So Tony Dio's not a seat. Ed, you want to go next? Then we'll go to Obie and we'll round out with Tony, and then we'll go around for some quick honorable mentions tonight. Let's see, you can boo and hiss everyone now. Deftones in the top five.
No, wait till
Jay's gonna be mad, right, Ralph?
what was that?
Jay will be mad. Okay, I like that crappy music.
You put Down and Deftones over Deicide and Morbid Angel, and
Yeah, I'm a poser.
he's not gonna be happy.
Posers must die. Don't kill me yet.
I got news for you guys. Every album that you guys have mentioned doesn't even touch my list.
What's that,
95
Ed?
Every album that you guys have mentioned so far, not even remotely on my list of something I like to listen to.
That's awesome.
It's good.
1995.
I still
Very
can't
strange.
hear Ed that well. I don't know if it's my hearing or not.
Okay, you can't hear me? Hold on.
Now you can. When you get closer, you
Yeah, you got to get closer, Ed.
Okay, all right. I'll sit up here.
What,
You look
what
at my-
now? What did you say, Ed, about what we our picks?
Yeah, 1995 was a very transitional year for me.
Okay, go ahead. You can go next then. How's that? You're going now.
That-
Go ahead.
now?
Kick it off.
Okay, I
Then
thought I
I'll
was
go to Obie, then I'll round out with Tony. Yep, go
Okay,
ahead.
cool. Yeah, so 95 was a transitional year for me. My father died in September 1994. I got engaged in 1995, moved in with my fiance at the time, got married in 96. Musically, I was not really into anything that really came, very, very little that came out that year. The bands that I really listened to, the thrash bands, the heavy metal bands, power metal bands, they weren't really doing anything very good at that time. The death metal scene to me was so oversaturated. There were so many bands. I liked a few bands here, a few bands there, but a lot of it was just, it was just too much. It would all sound the same to me. The black metal scene, I also was not into. I loved the first wave, the Bathory, the Venom, the Celtic Frost, and Equideath. I didn't like all the 90s bands that sounded like them. So 95 was a very strange year. I was listening to a lot of old shit. So basically, when I did this list, I came up with, like Ralph had mentioned, you're writing all the bands down. I came up with like 2 pages of albums of bands that I know, bands I'm familiar with in some degree, bands that I have liked at some point, or bands I wanted to check out. Most of those albums didn't make it on my list. Basically, I came up with a top 3 albums, one of which is a cheat album also, and then a bunch of honorable mentions. So as far as the top 3 albums go, my number 3 album is Y&T, Musically Incorrect. fucking love Y&T. I mean, Y&T is celebrating like almost 55 years now. I finally got to see them live about on their 50th anniversary tour. Actually, my friend brought me, so I've seen them a couple times. And Y&T is one of those bands that have been, how can I put this, just so underrated and unappreciated for the entire career. And they have just been a band that just continues doing their thing. Every album they do is good and just straight hard rock, just kick-ass rock and roll. From the earliest Yesterday and Today albums to the newest stuff that they put out. I just watched the live concert from like a couple months ago out in California. Dave Meniketti still sounds fucking perfect. He's absolutely major. He's phenomenal. It's so underrated. This album here, just absolutely fucking Cold Day in Hell, Fly Away, I've Got My Own, and the closing ballad, No Regrets, just a fantastic album. Number 2 album for the year for me, Deceased, Blueprints of Madness. I love Deceased. I mention them all the time. I can. One of my favorite bands, my all-time favorite underground metal band. Blueprints of Madness is their second full-length album, and I love everything they've ever done. This album is my least favorite Deceased album, simply because something's got to be on the bottom of a list. So it's my least favorite album, but I love everything they've done. This album is fantastic. It's so brutal and so raw. This is one of the rawest albums they've ever put out. Let's see here. The Triangle, Island of the Unknown, Creek of the Dead is one of my all-time favorite Deceased songs to this day. My number 1 album of the year is going to be, I don't even need to read notes on this, Pink Floyd's Pulse, the live album. Again, I'm cheating. It's Pink Floyd, and it was my favorite album in 1995. It's the only album pretty much in 1995 that came out that I listened to all year and still do. I saw them in 94 on both legs of the tour, both in the city and in Jersey, and they're my all-time favorite band. They are the greatest band of all time. The Pulse album is a fantastic live album. It was an amazing live show. And so, like I said, as far as the year goes, 95 was an interesting year. Like I said, with the things going on with my father and the marriage, my label Rage Records. I was winding down in 1995. By the end of the year, the label was done, and I was just moving on. So there wasn't a whole lot of albums I listened to that year that came out. We'll go over the honorable mentions. I got maybe about 12 or 15 of those, most of which are fairly negative reviews. Because so many really big bands that I've listened to, bands I've loved, put out albums that year that were disappointing to me. So we'll get to those later.
All right. Obie, what's up there, brother?
Yeah. Well, 95 for me, I'm born in 81, so 95 was kind of a reckoning day for me when it comes to metal. I gotta admit, though, I probably listened more to albums that I needed to get caught up with until recent day than more buying like new albums in 95, because like Ed says, 95 was kind of a diverse year, to be kind.
Yes.
But there was some gems. So I'm going to start with number 5 for me is Helheim with Jormungandr. It's a black metal band, Viking black metal band from Bergen, as in the same as Enslaved. They are quite different from Enslaved. They are much more, I would say, inspired by a certain person that we shouldn't mention too much about. Have his type of vocals, like the orc kind of screaming vocal. So it's not an album for everyone. It's definitely an underground classic. It's also have a lot of Norse mythology, like in the lyrics. It's very true to the books, and kind of like it's. I guess they disappeared behind Enslaved in a way, because Enslaved got popular and stuff, and Enslaved was on a much bigger label. They were on like Solid Records from a small label. So as for number 4, I guess I have to do like James, do a super group. Well, it's Dødheimskar with Krone til Konge, or Crown to a King. It got Fenris from Darkthrone on drums and some vocals, and we got Victornik from I can't really recall where it's from, and there's a couple other ones too, famous ones from Ora Noir, I think, and something else. But it's before they went off the deep end. It was the only true black metal album they had, and it's kind of like a simple artwork, and it's kind of like it's such a good album. Um, Number three, I'm gonna go with Carcass with Swan Song. I remember it was my first like new Carcass album, so my favorite is Symphonies of Sickness. So it's quite a shocker when you popped it in.
Yeah.
I listened to it quite a lot back then because it was the first album, and then the CD is shaped like a brain, so that's pretty cool. But it's like I believe that they started a new genre called black and roll or death and
Yes.
roll.
Yep.
Yeah, death and roll is what they call it.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's kind of, but the funny thing is that the five best songs from these recordings was actually released on Wake Up and Smell the Carcass compilation later. So the best songs are not on the album, like Age of Darkness and stuff. So that's kind of interesting. For number two, I'm gonna be so boring to just say Death Symbolic because it's my favorite album by Death. It was my first Death album. The only wrong or error with it is was released on Stinking Roadrunner Records, which is fucking annoying because we can't get a hold of the tapes, like the rehearsal tapes and the demos and stuff. It can't be released in the Relapse kind of like deluxe box sets. It's the only album that isn't, and it's the best for me. It's the best album, so it's. But that's beside the point. All the songs has been mentioned. That's really good. As for number one, Ralph, do me the honors and pull up that puppy again with Morbid Angel. Yes, my favorite Morbid Angel album. I mean, it's so good. It's the first one with Eric Rutan on the second guitar, and it's such a cool album because it has a lot of how should you call it? Not synth, but kind of. Ralph, help me, or what do we call it? It's not purely synth, but it's kind of like I don't know.
I just very atmospheric as is the
Yeah,
way I
yeah,
think of it. Is like there's a lot of like slow parts and is for deep guttural vocals. You hear every word, and then he does
yeah.
like some clean kind of like just like talking kind of stuff. But that looks it sounds cool, even though like Beavis and Butthead didn't like it and stuff. But you know,
Yeah, it's definitely a David Vincent album for sure. It's like because Ultra Madness is Trey's album. It's fast. You got Blessed Are the Sick, which is slow, which is a Vincent album. You got Covenant, which is a Trey album, is fast, and then you got David album again because it's slower. But I mean, Hate Work, and it's just the drums and the atmosphere, and kind of like it's so heavy, but at the same time it's so atmospheric. It's kind of like a journey, the whole album. You can just listen to it over and over again. It's like, yeah, it's a masterpiece for me. Is it the black or the slime green vinyl you got, Ralph?
Black album. It's yeah, it's just a black.
It's an
Yeah,
original.
because it's
Yeah, this is
it's
like
came
the
out
original.
it came out like with a slime bag in it because but it was
Oh,
so but it was so toxic, and it went and it punctured hole in the plastic sometimes, so it made a lot of mess, so it got pulled back. So if you have
Wow.
original with the slime, it's
oh
it's
yeah,
uh, it's it's really rare. That's why I was curious. And just
yeah.
the singing to the slime effect to the where the slime lives. I mean, it's so cool. I mean, it's the coolest single. I'm not a single person that likes singles. I like the deep tracks, but I gotta admit, where the slime lives, that's the coolest single ever. I mean, it's just yeah, it's nothing like
It's
it.
funny because on YouTube, like I used to let the algorithm would just always keep playing like the next song. I stopped that because it just would go into playing other stuff all the time. But it was kind of cool for like I only stopped doing it like a year ago. But for so long, for some reason, every time something heavy I watched on YouTube, that would be the next video. And I could never turn it off. I just would hear Where the Slime Live. I just hear it again and again. It was fucking amazing song.
Where the slime breeds. Yeah, it's just
Yeah,
I
the
mean
vocals,
it
everything is so cool in it.
yeah, it's so sad that they had a fallout at that time because I feel they were in the most creative period of the band. I feel that they if they have just s- stuck to it, they could have squeezed another good album out of it. I'm not saying
Mhm.
Formula Fatalas to the Flesh is a bad record, but I mean, there's something with that the David Vincent connection that was just magic. I mean, and you got Eric Rutan backing up the whole deal, and you got the Commando in the
Yeah,
background. Let's
yeah, they were
go.
perfect, perfect
Yeah.
band back then.
And you got the Indulge in Chaos, the live album in '96. But I mean, Eric didn't really put much into making the album sound good. So most people don't listen to it, but it's a really good live tour. That '95, '96 tour. I mean, his bass, that bass with the kind of like the metal or silver lining around it, the black bass, it's so cool. I like the red one too, but the one with the metal and the black, the bass he had in '95, '96, that's the coolest bass ever.
All
I
right.
remember when we were talking a while ago about Count and I were talking about that Morbid Angel concert. I remember after that we met David Vincent and Eric Rutan. They were coming out of there was a convenience store or something down the street there. We went in there and they were in there and we met them. I've got their signatures on the back of a sticker of some sort that's in a scrapbook around here somewhere.
They did
Nice.
an in-store Rock Fantasy back even
Yeah.
before that. They like the Blessed Are the Sick tour, the second album. They did an
Yeah.
in-store Rock Fantasy.
Yep. I was looking at that picture.
How did they? I don't remember. How did they recruit Eric Rutan to as a second guitar?
I could
I think he was, yeah, he was like
It was a
recording
ripping
all the
corpse, right?
bands. Yeah, he
I
was
could tell
from Ripping
about that.
Corpse, of course. Yeah, and Hate
Yeah,
Eternal was still
and I know
like,
all
I
about
think.
that. I knew Ripping Corpse very, very well. Basically in '88, the guys in Immolation, Incantation, Ripping Corpse, and Revenant all got together, all friends. They all got together and brought up Morbid Angel for a couple shows. Played at Sundance, played in New Jersey, played a whole bunch of different places. They all became friends, all different things. And next year, they needed a second guitarist. So they reached out to Eric because they liked his playing. They did a bunch of shows with him, and they
Mm.
asked him to come down and fill in for a couple of shows. Meanwhile, they were basically trying to purge him and take him. The manager at the time had told me later on, yeah, they wanted him, and he managed both bands, so he wanted the best for Eric anyway. We all loved it because, but this was obviously the best career move and the best life move for Eric. He's a fucking amazing guy, one of the
Mhm.
greatest guitarists I've ever seen. To witness him play live is just phenomenal. He's the fastest motherfucker I've ever seen. But
Yeah.
yeah, so they basically recruited him doing those Ripping Corpse shows in Morbid Angel, and as a temporary thing, and then he just never came back up. Just stayed in Florida, and that was it. He joined the band permanently, and he's fucking great. He brought so much life to that band. I
Mm.
love Eric.
He's also become quite an esteemed producer too.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. All right. So let's move over to Tony Dio and see what he's got. Thanks, Ovi.
Okay, so yeah, it was hard to pick the top five from this. I when we started on this, I was like, I don't know what I was listening to then. I knew a few things, but when you start looking at the list, you start looking up stuff online, you're like, wow, it's a lot of stuff. Um, so I was a little more open-minded back then, a little bit over some music and stuff, and I was never much into the rap metal thing at all. I mean, the first Rage Against the Machine album everybody had was playing. I was like, it's okay. I saw them at Lollapalooza. I thought they kicked ass, good show. Not big into the whole just hip hop metal thing. This band Stuck Mojo came out. And they
Nice.
1994, they started playing. They're coming from Atlanta. They started coming up into Raleigh and playing, and they would just annihilate. It didn't matter who they played with; they'd wipe the floor with them whenever they came, and they're just so good live. And their first album came out in '95, Snapping Necks, and I played the absolute crap out of this CD when I first got it. that year. This is my actual original and it's autographed by them. They got to be friends with them, did some promotions, some shows with them through the years. Just a really, really good band to see live. Rich Ward, killer guitar player, killer riffs, just riff meister. Of course he does Fozzy now. That's what he does now and stuff. Still writes cool riffs. So yeah, so Snapping Necks, Stuck Mojo's number 5. Number 4, I'm gonna pick Down. Gonna go with the Down. I mean, what else can be said that James didn't say? Just a great debut record. Super group for sure. I mean, Lifer. I mean, what a riff on that song. I remember running into Pepper in town once, and he was telling me about this was coming. They got this band, with Kirk and Phil, and it's like, yeah, that's gonna, looking forward to hearing that, and was not expecting it to be this good when it came out. Yeah, but yeah, really good record. Um,
Tony Dio,
Up
real
next,
quick. So, like, I know Pepper and Phil used to like give cassettes out of down demos to be like, hey, fucking here's this cool new band or whatever, and just to get it out there and get people hearing it. Do you have one of those?
no, he said he had tapes, but he didn't have anything on him. I just happened to run into him one day in a shop, you know. But but yeah, that would have been cool. Those are probably very collectible by now.
Yeah.
Um, so next up, I'm gonna go with Trouble, Plastic Green Head. Just a really kick-ass record here. It's Trouble. You know what you're gonna get from 'em. It's kind of doomy. It's kind of stoner rock. It's kind of 70s. By then they had really gone into their 70s wave. This is the first record they did on Century Media, where they had been on Rick Rubin's label for the 2 previous records, and of course Metal Blade in the early days.
Yep.
Um, they This has really got a big time 70s psychedelic vibe to it. I mean, Classic Green Heads, the opening track's great. Um, the Opium Eater, what a riff on that one, man. Great song. Flowers, great Beatles type song. And
Yeah.
so it's stuff like that all over this. It's a lot of just great riffs, kind of 70s inspired type songs. Really cool. I went to see them on this tour with Cathedral in support, and
Mm.
got
Mhm.
there and Cathedral played, but Trouble had pulled off the tour. Their tour support got shut off, and they basically went home. As was the story I heard. Their tour support got pulled, and this is the only record they ever did for Century Media, and they pretty much split up after this for many years. So there
Yeah.
may have been some internal stuff going on around that time. Um, so that's my first 3. Number 2, Draconian Times by Paradise Lost.
Mm.
Mm.
I played the crap out of this that year. I really liked the record that predated it, Icon, a whole lot. This one, they kind of come into, some people call this, these guys were really big in England at the time. And a lot of their fan base refers to this as their Black Album because,
Yeah.
like Metallica, they really went more commercial sound and more mainstream on it. Not really commercial, just more mainstream, more catchiness. It's kind of got a gothy feel to it. Um, but it's great riffs. I mean, great guitar work on here, cool guitar solos. Nick changed his vocal style to more of
Mhm.
it wasn't a death vocal. He got more. He was singing a little more. He always sounds kind of like Hetfield at times on here.
A
So
lot like
yeah,
Hetfield.
yeah, great. I mean, Hallowed Land. I mean, the last time, just a great track. Forever Failure starts out with a Charles Manson soundbite.
Yeah.
I don't understand. I don't understand. Sorry. Once Solemn. That sounded more like throwback to the earlier stuff. But yeah, just some great tracks on this. I was so into this when it first came out, and I wanted to see them. And it was years before I ever got to see them play live. Probably sometime in the early 2000s, I got to see them. But yeah, you talk about a band that when they want to say just that they followed the Metallica route, well, the next record would be like their load. because they really went commercial and got haircuts and everything when that one came out. So that one kind of threw their fan base for a loop. But that wasn't a bad album either. But we'll talk about that one next year. Number one album for me was something out of the blue that happened, and it was just like what a comeback album was. Walk on Water by UFO. That's
Mm.
my Japanese copy. I got several copies of it, different covers, different versions. I got on vinyl. But yeah, so the original, well, not the original, but the classic UFO lineup of Michael Schenker, Phil Mogg, Pete Way, Paul Raymond, and Andy Parker had not recorded together since the Lights Out album. And that lineup came back together with the producer that did the Lights Out album, Ron Nevison. No, I say Lights Out, I mean Obsession. The guy that produced the Obsession album and the Lights Out album, Ron Nevison. They actually all came out with a record that's as good as Obsession or Lights Out. Uh, Great songwriting. Sounds like classic UFO. I was so excited when I mentioned earlier about seeing that Morbid Angel show. I went to a Kiss convention in New York City, the one where they were there and they played Unplugged and stuff. I bought this there. I bought the Japanese copy of Walk on Water at that Kiss convention because it was hard. You could only get it on as an import at the time. At the beginning, it was only available from Japan. But later on, I got to see them on that tour. But it was actually, I think it was the fall of that year. It was a couple of months later. I actually got to see them. They played Jack's in Northern Virginia, and that was the first time I ever went to Jack's actually. So yeah, that was cool. Got to see the original. Keep saying the original, but the classic lineup of UFO. And like I said, this album, man, Self-Made Man, Venus, Push to the Limit, Stopped by a Bullet. I mean, this is all just sounds just like they had never stopped recording with Shanker and just like picked right up, but the production's a little more modern, a little better. And I thought it was just a great album. Yeah.
Cool, man. Excellent. What are we gonna go around get some honorable mentions? I guess we kicked off with James, and then we'll go over to Ralph. I'll give a couple, Ed, and we'll loop it around and wrap this one up, man.
Well, I'm going to echo Tony with a couple of my honorable mentions. Draconian Times from Paradise Lost. That's a fantastic fucking album, man. I remember walking into the local record store and the dude behind the counter was playing this, and I loved what I was hearing, and he was bummed out about it. He was like, it sounds like Metallica. I can't stand it. Doesn't sound like Shades of God. It doesn't sound like anything before it. And I was absolutely in love with what I was hearing because I'm no secret a massive Metallica fanboy. So I love the vocals. I love what was going on with the music. It kind of reminded me of Typo Negative a little bit in
Yeah.
parts. Had that very dark gothic thing going on, but with Hetfield like vocals. So I was all about it. And he sold me his promo copy that he was listening to in the store that day. And I brought it home and played it to death. I got the 25th anniversary copy a few years ago that came out on Music for Nations. It's fantastic. It's good with the remastering and everything. Like Tony Dio said, not a bad moment. I love Once Solemn. It's one of my favorite tracks on here. And yes, Hallowed Land was a big one. That was another one that was on Concrete Corner sampler down the line. Just a fantastic album.
I gotta say really quick, with like Paradise Lost, I was a huge fan of the first two albums. The first album is straight up death metal. Like they were just like a great fucking death metal band, real catchy, memorable death metal songs. Then the next album was called Gothic, and that had like a typo kind of feel. They were like, it was hard to classify what they were doing there. It was like a gothic doom. There was really nothing that I could think of like that album. I loved it. And people hated it that loved the first album, but then after that, I couldn't get into any of this other stuff. Like I try to listen to any of the stuff after that album. I'm just wondering if you two guys both, because you love this album, did you guys like the first two albums?
To be
I
honest,
never had the first one. I had Gothic. I still got Gothic. Yeah, I like that. I like Shades of God, and I liked Icon. They were a strange band because, like I said, as they went further into their career, I mean, there's some stuff that they did in the maybe early 2000s. I mean, it sounded like they were trying to be Depeche Mode or something, and then they
yeah,
went back and got super heavy on a few of the later records that came out more in more recent years. It's crazy. They just kind of come and
Yeah, they're
go.
all over the place. Yeah,
Yeah.
they don't do the same album twice, I guess.
right. Yeah,
Well,
for me,
Nicole got into Bloodbath. I think that was a wake-up call for him when he started
Yeah,
Yeah,
then he
Bloodbath.
that's
started
So
right.
singing heavy again.
get
Yeah,
your
it was
shit
the first
Yeah.
together.
yeah,
time
that's
singing
right.
heavy.
Yeah, for me personally, Draconian Times is the one and only Paradise Lost album that I really like.
Wow.
I got Draconian Times and fell in love with it, and then I went backwards and got the album Icon, and I thought it was kind of underwhelming. There was nothing on it that really like stood out and made me fall in love with it. And I've listened to subsequent albums since. I know the records Tony's talking about where they went to Pesh Modish and they lost me completely there. And I've listened to some of the newer stuff. It just doesn't hit me the same way. Draconian Times is my one and only kind of Paradise Lost album.
They
You
played
got
the
you got to
whole
check out
Draconian.
Gothic because it's not brutal death metal like the way the first kind of album was, and it's something
Right.
unique. And if you like Typo Negatives
Yeah,
and
it's
stuff,
good. It's a good album.
I think you might like that one.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah, I'll
they
check
played
that
the
out.
whole Draconian Times album at Maryland Death Fest this year.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw that. And they're touring with Trouble too, which is my next one I'm going to echo Tony Dio with Plastic Green Head. This is again, I can't say anything better about it than Tony Dio said. He named all my favorite songs: Plastic Green Head, Flowers, Opium Eater. Requiem is such a good ballad on here.
Hmm.
So depressing and so dark. Really love that one on here. Great album.
It's a
Um,
really strange album because it got kind of heavy metal vocals.
yes.
But it's kind of a strange album because it got so much different things in it. It's
Very
hard to put that.
psychedelic.
It's hard to put in one place.
Yeah,
Yep.
very psychedelic. My next one is going to be Frog Stomp from Silverchair. Love this one.
Du-du-du-du-du.
Great album for me.
Dude, that album that was an honorable mention for me too. I'll back you on that. I don't like anything that band ever did after that record,
Me neither.
and I'm not into the grunge thing much at all. I had a
Right.
friend that was in a cover band, and they were doing Israel's Son and Pure
Yes.
Massacre, and I was
Yeah.
like, "What are those songs? That kicks ass. What is that?" And he goes, "It's Silverchair." I went, "Really?" So I
Yeah.
went and got the CD, man, and I thought it was great. And then the next CD
Absolutely.
comes out, and I bought that one thinking, "Oh, this is gonna be good," and I didn't like it at all. But yeah, that
Same
album kicks
exact
ass.
thing happened for
So
me.
heavy, heavy, like almost Sabbath-like guitars at times.
Hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Great riffs in this. Fantastic vocals, fantastic drummer. Great three piece. You
Yeah.
know, they make a lot of noise for fucking three kids, and they were
Hmm.
all like 15 when they made this, which is
Right.
Hmm.
fantastic too.
Yeah.
Um, I feel the exact same way Tony Dio does. I bought Freak Show the day it came out because I love this so much, and I wanted to throw it right in the trash. Terrible album.
It was.
Terrible. Absolutely terrible album.
Yeah. Terrible.
But
And
Frog Stomp rules, man.
yeah.
Tomorrow was the big track off this. I love Pure Massacre. I really love Suicidal Dream. That was a song that hit me hard when I was a teenager at that point. And yeah, Find a Way is a great one too. I love the last track on here. Great riffs. Good stuff. Alice in Chains self-titled, Three-Legged Dog.
Yeah.
Fantastic album. Fantastic album. You know, Heaven Beside You, that was a big hit off this. Grind was a big hit. Again was a big hit. But the sleeper tracks on this for me are Head Creeps and So Close. Really good, dark Black Sabbathy songs on this. Fantastic Alice in Chains album that doesn't get talked about nearly as much as Dirt or Facelift. I really like this one a lot. And Over Now is a perfect way to end not only an album, but also a lineup and kind of a career. It's really the last time you sort of hear a studio thing with Lane Staley and Jerry Cantrell together. It's very sad, actually, when you go back and listen to it. It's very emotional. Good
The
tune.
lyrics on that album is dark.
Yes, very, very. I got two more, and this one's going to be Stomp 442 from Anthrax.
Oh,
Sorry. Sorry, Obie. I fucking love the John Bush era of Anthrax. And I love this album in particular. Got Dimebag Darrell playing lead guitar on two songs with King Size and Riding Shotgun. Fueled is a fantastic song. Random Acts of Senseless Violence. I really love Nothing is a fantastic one off this. And yeah, great album for me. I've always dug this one. Played the shit out of it when I was 15. Loved revisiting it for this past week. Good album for me.
Wasn't there a song called "Fuel" for my engine or something on there?
Yeah, Fueled. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
one that's
I like
like the
that
big
song.
hit
That was
off
cool. The
this.
rest of it really didn't do anything for me. Yeah.
Fair enough. A lot of people really didn't dig the John Bush era. I did. I got into Anthrax with Sound of White Noise and then went backwards and loved that shit too. But then I always loved what they were doing with John Bush after that. My last one, me and Ovi are going to talk about this record tomorrow night. Crowbar. Time Heals Nothing. It hurt to not put this in my top five, but I like the Fight album just a little bit more, just a little bit. This is a fantastic doomy sludge record. The opening track, The Only Factor, is so great. Lack of Tolerance is so brutally heavy. Fantastic song. Embracing Emptiness lyrically is one of the greatest songs that Kirk Windstein has ever written. And
Yeah.
Dumb Sensitive is a great way to knock this one out. Fantastic album. It's going to be in my top probably 3 to 5 Crowbar albums, but we'll see about that tomorrow night when me and Ovi and Miles rank all the Crowbar records.
Nice.
There's all my honorable mentions.
All right. Go ahead, Ralph.
I'm gonna save me for last because I'm crossing them out as everybody
All
says
right.
something. So then when I do mine at the end, it'll be less that I
All right,
speak about.
good. Because this episode's running super long already. So, Ed, I guess is next, right? Yeah.
You gonna go next? Or I'll go next. It's up to you. You want me to go
Who
next?
was who was supposed to be? I was
You were-
next.
You were gonna go
Sorry.
next.
I think everything's pretty much been spoke of that I had on my list. The King Diamond, Spider's Lullaby. I had the Deicide record on, of course. I had a couple of ones that the Morbid Angel, Nevermore, self-titled.
Yeah.
House and Chains, self-titled, which has been brought up.
Yeah.
And, yeah, that's about it for me. I'm pretty lame tonight.
All right. Yeah. King Diamond Lullaby, Spider's Lullaby, definitely probably my number 4 album of the year. I love King Diamond, definitely a good album. It's not them or Abigail, but it's still a good record. I like the little story at the end of the last 4 songs. AC/DC Wallbreaker, nobody mentioned that one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Peace off.
I mean, it's AC/DC, so it's it's a good record. You know exactly what you're getting, and get it on this album. It's definitely a cool record. Let's see here. And like I said, some of the records I'm going to mention, I'm not really that positive, but it was like these are bands I love, and I'm like the disappointing album was like Saxon, Dogs of War. I love Saxon, my favorite band, but this is not one of their best records. Some good songs though. I mean, it sounds like Saxon, but it has like a '90s sound to it. So, like, "Hold On" is a great song. "Give It All Away" is a great song. Um, but they just never stop. This is the 12th album. Great band. "Symbolic" we mentioned. Not my favorite Death album at all, but my favorite album after the first three albums. Of all the later Death albums, this is the best one in my opinion. "Fight" we mentioned. I do not like the Fight album. "Trouble," Plastic Greenhead, great fucking album. Great album. "Malevolent Creation," Eternal. This is the first album
Nice.
without Jason, the bass player, was saying, "I love Malevolent. Malevolent, like my favorite death thrash band. I knew them in the demo and great band. This album is good. Again, not great, just good. There's a lot of albums on it, but good, not great. Let's see, Ozzy Osmosis. It's Ozzy. "See You on the Other Side" best song of the album. The rest of the album's all right. Richie Blackmore's "Rainbow." I'm surprised you didn't mention this one, Tony. "Stranger in Us All." This is the
Was that
Asian song.
95?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep,
I was thinking it was
I got it.
96. Yeah. I
The
saw him
Asian.
on
I
that
had it
tour.
in
I saw him
mind.
on that tour.
Oh, did you? Nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
I did not. It really. I mean, I did. I know I didn't listen to this album back in 1995. I listened. I looked it up. I heard parts of it, but it's a great record. Really, really great record. And was it Doogie White? I like his vocals. It's the only album he
Yeah.
sang on.
They
He's
were,
got
they were
good
good.
voice. He reminds me of Harry the Tyrant from Jack Padgett at times. He was
Mhm.
really good. Let's see what else we got. Motorhead, "Sacrifice." Another
Yeah.
great Motorhead.
Great album.
Yeah, and any Motorhead album is a great album. "Benediction," "The Dreams You Dread," killer, brutal, death metal. Great band. "Carcass," Swan Song we mentioned. "Hellstar," "Multiples of Black." I love Hellstar. I'm biased. I'm friends with James. I booked him twice already. I'm bringing him up for my Rage of Armageddon festival in 2 months. This is the worst Hellstar album, and I blame
Yeah.
David. There's some
Production.
good stuff on here, but even James's vocals they're tame. They're not. He's too restrained on this album. The best song on here. Uh,
Mm.
yeah. Oh wait. "When We Only Bleed" has too much of a '90s style to it. Well, "Lost to Be Found." That's a good song. But otherwise, it's Hellstar, but it's not Hellstar. Not on that album. "Ill Disposed," "Submit." Getting definitely underground here. Second album from Danish death metal band. Great fucking band. Uh, Iron Maiden, "The X Factor."
Ugh.
For big Iron Maiden fans, yeah, it's a good album. It's Bill Blaze Bailey's first album. But to me, it sounds like new Maiden. It's just really nothing
Not bad.
to it.
I like that album a lot.
You
Mhm.
really can. I can't get into it. Krabathor Alive, the Czech Republic. Killer death metal band. If nobody's familiar with them, check them out. They're brutal death metal like Pestilence, but with more grind in them. I actually sold. This is a metal digibox CD that I sold on Rage Records in 1995. Killer fucking band. They put out 7-inch also. Creator, "Cause for Conflict." Let's
Ooh.
see. Not as bad as Outcast or
Get some
Endorama, but still a
stinkers.
band.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you said it.
You don't have to list every album now you're in.
No, yeah, right. I'm not listening to all of them. "Running Wild," Masquerade, good Running Wild album. Happy Pirate Metal, good stuff. Unleashed, Victory, brutal fucking death metal.
That's a good album.
Yeah, that's a good album.
Also Vader, De Pretundis, brutal fucking Polish death metal. Great fucking band. Voivod, Negatron.
Great
Love
album.
this- I don't like this album. I don't like
Really?
it. Voivod,
You're
one of my
supposed to even
all-time.
tell me the albums you like, Ed.
Yeah,
Wow.
Well, we'll get to how about Sodom, Masquerade. That's a good record. Bathory, Octagon, worst Bathory record. Black Sabbath, Forbidden.
Oh,
I like
That's
it.
a
I
stinker.
like the remix.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
remix is
I-
great.
I still can't.
I
still
didn't
can't
see
get into that.
Forbidden come up. I seen Cross Purposes Live came up for
Yeah,
that year.
Forbidden was on.
I don't
Yeah,
think
no.
Forbidden was 95, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Oh,
Anyhow,
But that's it. That's all of them.
all right. Is there anything left, Obie, that they haven't mentioned?
Yeah, we got a really good death metal album, From Vile Remains into Cold Darkness, We also got a Swedish, pretty cool black trashy band called Lord Belial with Kiss the Goat.
Yep.
And if you are into symphonic black metal, you need to pay attention, because if you don't know this band, you miss something, and that's Balsagoth with the Black Moon Broad over Lumen Rail. They're kind of in the shadow of Cradle of Filth, but they are so much better. That's the problem. That first album is so much better than Principle Evil Made of Thy Flesh. But they didn't. They had a smaller record label, so I guess it's all about promotion back in those days. That's it for me.
All right, Tony Dio.
Yeah, I'll roll through some. I mean, the Osmosis, great record. The Deceased, great record. Carcass, the Motorhead, all good stuff. Here's some stuff that hasn't been mentioned. Dead Winter Dead by Sabotage. This
Oh,
is
wow.
actually
Yeah.
this is the plant. The seed was planted for Trans-Siberian Orchestra because the song Christmas Eve at Sarajevo was featured on this album. Cathedral, Carnival Bazaar. Like I said, I saw Trouble, and I was going to see Trouble, that is, with Cathedral, and this was the album Cathedral was supporting, and I did get to see them. Iced Earth Burnt Offerings, that was their first album with Matt Barlow on vocals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stand By for Pain by Dee Snider's Widowmaker.
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
Just good heavy rock record, heavy metal
Oh,
record,
Yeah.
wow.
full on metal. It's he had get what's his name on guitar?
Keith Alexander.
No, he had the guy.
Oh,
The guy was in Trans-Siberian. Al Petrelli on guitar. Yeah,
Ah,
Mm.
good stuff. Um, Here's one that I like. A lot of people don't like this band, but 6 Feet Under. That first album was pretty
Yeah.
kick ass. I mean,
Yeah.
Alan came up with some great riffs on here. It's very much like Obituary. If you like Obituaries,
Yes.
I mean, it's Alan, man. He's playing those riffs.
Groovy.
Good record. Um, a weird band that I only like, another one and done record, is The Gathering, Mandy Lion. I was
Oh
really,
yeah.
this is a Century Media band. It's a female fronted band, very
Mhm.
like gothy, just metal, just kind of if you like typo, you kind of like it's kind of like typo with female vocals. Really good record. Like I said, the next record came out. I didn't like anything else after that. Another Century Media band, Sentence, with the
Oh,
album
nice.
Amok.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, melodic, like death metal. It's got that Swedish grind guitar, but it was, it's kind of like In Tune meets Iron Maiden or something, It's
Yeah.
really, really cool stuff. Really good record from those guys. And because their stuff before this was even heavier, and anything they did after this was more commercial sounding. This is like, to me, is like just one of their best records for sure. Yeah. So that's it.
cool.
all
Ralph.
right. So you guys fucking got a lot of mine got crossed off because of that. Like the last couple guys that went, they nailed a lot of them. So I'm not going to mention any of the ones that have been mentioned, but
All right.
except for I want to say Voivod Negatron's fucking great. I love that album.
I like
Yes.
that
I
record.
loved it because it was the return to being metal again. But I get that, it kind of is like I could see why James loved it, because it's kind of got like this Pantera kind of vibe to it. But I
Yeah.
just was happy that they were being really metal again. And I
Yeah.
thought he was a great replacement. Like, it sucked that anybody had to leave, but one guy comes in and replaces two guys, Blackie and
Yeah.
Snake.
Eric.
Right.
So that was cool.
Yeah.
But so yeah, Amorphous, Black Winter Day EP, Anal Cunt, top
EP,
40
yeah.
hits, Behemoth
I have that. That's
17th,
hilarious.
Behemoth 17th, Belphegor. I'm surprised Keeler didn't mention The Last Supper.
Oh yeah.
Bestial Wardlust, Blood and Valor, Buheria, Raza Oyada, Cancer, Black Faith, Dark Throne, Panzerfaust, Deeds of Flesh, Gradually Melted EP, Dismember, Massive Killing Capacity, and Casket Garden EP.
That's a killer fucking Dismember album.
Meshuggah, Destroy, Erase, Improve.
Yep.
Mortician, House by the Cemetery by Mortician. Samael, Rebellion. Sinister, Hate. My dog doesn't like that one. Sinister, Hate, and Suffocation, Pierced from Within.
Wow, no one
Fear-
mentioned that.
Theater of Tragedy, a band that I love this band, and I don't like many bands like it. I think because I like Gothic by Paradise Lost, I ended up liking Theater of Tragedy's self-titled album. But this is like a kind of a unique band for me to like. But
At least
Therian,
artwork.
yeah, Therian Lapaka Kilifoth or whatever. Um, Primus, Tales from the Punch Bowl, Alice Cooper,
Mhm.
Classics, Bruce Dickinson, Alive in Studio A,
Yeah.
Integrity Systems Overload, Earth Crisis, Destroy All Machines, Excel, Seeking Refuge, and War, Ragnarok, and that's it.
All right.
I
Well,
have Christian's 5.
who?
Christian.
Christian.
Christian
Oh,
from Connecticut.
Let's hear.
Christian
Yeah,
Marino.
oh yeah.
let's hear.
Give me that
I've
quick.
got his 5. His number 5 is Y&T Musically Incorrect.
Wow,
His number 4 is Voivod Negatron,
nice.
Connecticut kid coming through. His number 3 is The Meat Men with Pope on a Rope.
No, that's in my top five. Then if that came out in '95, because that's one of those things that doesn't come out up on a list. So I
Mm.
got to kick something out of my top five.
Yeah.
That's one of my all-time favorite punk fucking hardcore albums of all time. Pope on a Rope. It's fucking amazing.
There you go. His number 2 is King Diamond with Spider's Lullaby, and his number 1 is Motorhead with Sacrifice.
All right.
Respect.
Absolutely.
Well,
Yeah.
I'd like to thank everybody for watching tonight. The 1995 is in the books on the Rock Fantasy Files. Thanks for Count Ralphus. Thanks for Obie, James, Tony, and Ed. And if you guys are still watching, take a second and say, yeah, I'm still watching the show. So I'm trying to figure out how many people are watching the whole shows. Analytics don't show that normally, but a lot of people do like to watch the whole show. And I've watched some other podcasters go, yo, say you're still watching if you're here at the end. That means you're a true fan of the channel if you're watching the whole show too. So thank you for staying with us tonight, and take a minute to subscribe to the channel. I'm supposed to say this when I first come on. Hit that like button, notifications, all that shit, and share it around with your friends. Let them know about the Rock Fantasy Files.
Give
And
us a top
down, if
five.
anyone, and Ed Farsley's got a huge show. We should have talked about that earlier. Nah, about a month from now, a little bit over a month, you got your Armageddon Fest in New York City coming up. So please go out, look for that, support that show. All right, Ed.
So it's going to be Labor Day weekend, 6 weeks away.
Oh, it's a little bit further than Labor Day weekend. I was thinking end of August, but
6 weeks.
it'll be here before you blink. Halloween shit's out in the stores already.
That's right.
And if you're around locally, I'll be at the Orange County Fair with the Rock Fantasy 40th anniversary concert series on the open air stage there with a bunch of different bands you could check out. So I will see you guys next time on the Rock Fantasy YouTube channel. Thanks.